the live stream that's starting at 7 Eastern tomorrow night, 4 Pacific. Twitch and YouTube, Comedy Central's YouTube feed, Twitter, and so many more spots for you to go check it out. And part of that live stream to make people laugh and raise money for those who are suffering from COVID-19, certainly in the comedy world, is our buddy, the roast master general himself, Jeffrey Ross. How are you, Jeffrey Ross?
Hey, Big Rich. Great to hear from you, pal.
Oh, come on. I love you so much. I don't care who knows it. What's this live stream about, Jeff? Your heart is as big as your comedy game, and I knew you'd be part of this thing. What's going on with this tomorrow?
Comedy Gives Back is an organization that helps out comedians who aren't working, who are sick, and nobody's working right now. Luckily, I have a cushion, but there's a lot of comics that are really stuck right now, so we're going to raise money for them. Which is a good idea, but if you think about it, the ones who are really suffering are the close-up magicians right now. They are making zero money.
Right. So basically, people can tune in and who's going to be at the mic tomorrow? I mean, and what's it going to look like? Is it just everybody from their own spots just surfing in or streaming in and just doing their stuff?
Dave Attell and I are going to go side by side via Zoom and bump mics virtually with Bob Saget.
Yeah. When is that?
We're going to do our bumping mic show.
What time is that?
Somewhere in the live stream.
Okay.
I think it's somewhere in the first hour, but I'm not sure. It's like a 3 or 4 hour telethon.
That's amazing.
Literally a telethon on the telephone.
Right.
So it'll be fun.
Okay. Fantastic. I know what you've been up to lately. You had a heck of an April Fool's joke that you pulled on everybody, Jeffrey, did you not?
I couldn't believe it. I've never pranked anybody in my life. It worked so well.
So on your podcast, you made it seem like you spoke to the Tiger King himself from his cell. Is that correct?
Yeah, I do a podcast out of my house.
Right.
And my buddy Jeremiah Watkins does a dead-on impression of the Tiger King, Joe Exotic. So I was like, let me just call Jeremiah as Joe Exotic and say that I used my contacts from roasting prisoners in Texas, where this guy is housed.
Right.
And see if people buy into it. And we did a 15-minute interview, and Jeremiah was so hilarious and sounded so much like the guy that hundreds of thousands of people bought into it, including Harvey Levin from TMZ.
But wasn't there some of the Easter eggs that might have been included in that, just total gags like that you'd think that nobody would buy what was happening, Jeff? Right?
He was screaming how he was going to get out of jail and kill Carol Baskin. He was saying things that no lawyer would ever let him say. He committed crimes during the interview, and then he had a guitar and started singing. I was like, what prison would ever let? But I think people love this maniac so much they went with it.
Right, and I like the still photograph that you had him on a payphone, made it look like it was live, even though clearly it wasn't live. I kind of like what you did, Jeff. You really added the value to it, the production value. That's fantastic.
Well, it's worth a listen. It's called Thick Skin with Jeff Ross. Wednesday's episode called Tiger King Calls Jeff Ross from prison. And the best part is, if you look at, people really. First of all, I love animals, Rich. I would never have this maniac on my podcast. This guy's in prison for, abusing animals and humans, by the way.
Right.
But there's 7 episodes that have completely captivated the public. So I was like, this is going to be a fun way to do the podcast and make some laughs and. April Fool's Day is my comedy anniversary.
What do you mean?
This is my first year in 31 years. My first time on stage was April Fool's Day, 1989.
Where?
At the ye old Triple Inn on 54th Street in Manhattan. I followed a bongo player.
Was it McConaughey or was back in the day? Or no?
It may have been. I was Jeff Lifschultz, this fat, chubby loser living in New Jersey with my grandfather.
Yeah.
And and my buddy Mark Chapin talked me into taking a comedy class. And the day before our graduation, I went to my first open mic on March 31st, 1989. But then I didn't get on until 1 a.m. So officially April Fool's Day.
Yes.
And it was my first time on stage, and I did pretty well, actually. There was a couple Navy guys in town for Fleet Week, as I recall, and my jokes weren't working, but I started making fun of these guys for having mustard stains on their white uniforms in New York.
Do you remember?
And a young insult comic was born.
And the young insult and the roast master general was born. And when was the first time you? I texted you a YouTube link I had. I don't know what pops up because I do like the old Johnny Carson shows of Buddy Hackett, and I sent that to you because I know Buddy Hackett was was one of your idols. When was the first time you met Rickles? You got a good Rickles story? Give me your favorite Rickles story, Jeffrey.
The first time I met Rickles was at the American Comedy Awards that they used to do it in Hollywood, and I was with my pal Adam Ferrara, who was getting a Comedian of the Year, young comedian kind of award, and I was his plus one. We had our rented tuxedos. We walk into the ballroom, and we're at table 239. Don Rickles is at table 1. So we work our way up to the front, and Don sees these two comedians coming at him out of the side of his eye. And just as we're about to go, Mr. Rickles, Don looks at us and goes, "All right, kids, don't make a thing."
He beat you to the punch and said that?
Yeah, man. And I felt like part of the club. He was very warm to us, and I wound up performing for him and with him many, many times. I always say he had the black belt in busting balls.
That's great.
I miss that guy. I miss the truth tellers right now. Joan Rivers, I was thinking about yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that post.
Just so interesting right now, talking about the world. Comedy. It's as journalism gets so opinionated, it's kind of interesting to see the comics being brutally honest and unfiltered, and we don't have to worry about corporate sponsors usually, and we get to speak our mind, and I think it's really important, and that's why another reason I thought the Comedy Gives Back Laugh Bait event was important, because comics don't have a union. We don't really look out. No one looks out for us. We're like a cult. We have to look out for each other.
Well, we had Bill Burr on an hour too, and I just wanted to have you on for sure, just to connect with you. I know I've been texting back and forth with you. I want to come on your pod. I will play myself, not in jail. I rescue 2 dogs. I love animals. It'll be good.
I rescued a dog yesterday.
Did you really? Congrats.
My girlfriend brought home a dirty, mangy, old, blind, limping dog.
Okay.
Who smells like King Kong's armpit, but I love her already. It's been 1 day.
What's her name? What'd you name her?
I named her Rona.
Rona? Okay. Very good.
I did. I named her Rona after this time, and I don't want to ever forget it. And,
oh my God.
There's a silver lining to all this darkness, and I think that's that we're appreciating life a little bit more. And each other a little bit more.
Well, I can't wait to watch tomorrow at 7 Eastern time. Everybody go to comedygivesback.com to find out more how you can give and how you can watch that live stream of comics starting tomorrow at 7 p.m. As you said to Jeff Ross, I can't wait to touch all your faces again, as you tweeted out yesterday. You're the best. You're the one and only, Jeffrey.
Hey, one more thing. My girlfriend and I, here's another quarantine tip to keep your relationship hot.
Yeah.
My girlfriend and I have been role playing, and last night we dressed up as the 2 popes.
Jeffrey Ross, everybody.
Walk off.
You're the best,
Love
Jeffrey.
You.
Take care, brother. That's Jeffrey. Oh, the one and only Jeffrey Ross. That was amazing. I love that guy.